Hello, fine people. This is JF. What up? So I am. I'm gonna look at the camera. I'm going to go through A to Z for creating a character sheet in the Isekai game that I am putting together. This is to help new people get acquainted with the Foundry system, but also the Pathfinder Second Edition system that we'll be using. So I'll be pretending to be a player, and I'm going to put together my character, just to kind of like get you through how it looks, what it feels like, the different steps, and so on. So this is my character. So I've been watching ReZero Life in Another World, and main character is named Subaru, and it's always annoyed me. So I'm gonna make a character that's called Mitsubishi Toyota. So basically, we're going through the first process. So first process is going to be A, B, C. A for ancestry, B for background, and C for class. So I'm thinking, well, that's the typical. However, since we're very much in an isekai game, I think background should come first because you guys are all technically humans, but you get to be reborn in a different race if you want to in this other world. So I'm going to wait a bit on Ancestry, and I'm going to flesh out my concept before I start statting it out. And I want Mitsubishi Toyota to be kind of like your typical really mean school bully. You know, he's in another world, and he's there to like kind of make his presence known. He was like a nobody at home, and now he wants to be somebody in this world. So I'm gonna like create kind of your typical bully edge lord. I'm gonna make him neutral evil, and so that being said, I'm pretty sure the background I want is I want to be a bully. So I go here in the items directory in the backgrounds folder that you have access to, and I'm going to drag bully over to here. So the bully background gives me two ability boosts. One must be a strength or charisma, and one is a free ability boost. I'll come back later. I'm also trained in the intimidation or athletic skill and the bully lower skill, and I gain the intimidating glare or group coercion skill feat. So I'm going to be trained in intimidation. I'm going to be trained in bully lore. I know exactly how to make people hurt. And I have both of these skill feats that have appeared on my list, but I'm going to delete group coercion. I'm going to delete the one I don't take, basically. Now, Mitsubishi died at, let's call him Toyota-kun, died and he was reborn in another world. So in this other world, if I look at the list of ancestries, uh, looking at my options, he's an edgelord. He wants to, really make himself like as badass as possible. So he's gonna go, you know what? What's the biggest, baddest thing I can find in here? A lizard folk. Now, lizard folk there gives a bonus to strength. He wants to be a thug. So that sounds about right. So if we look here, the lizard folk is an uncommon ancestry. So before I just apply lizard folk over there, I'm going to take you to the boon system. And basically, when you're reborn in another world, when your character is reborn in another world, the gods and goddesses have met with them and have given them the option to have boons, perks that they can have to help them in their quest to vanquish the demon lord in this world. So you can pick a minor boon and a major boon. Now you can see in the minor boons, uncommon ancestries are one of those. So Mitsubishi really likes the idea of being a lizard folk, and like I'll make him even scarier. So he's Toyota-kun, I keep and so he's gonna use his minor boon to be reborn as a lizard folk. So that already takes care of one of the things I have to choose. And then in the lizard folk ancestry, you get to pick a heritage. Now they're not very well you've defined, but you can just type lizard here and it'll give you the idea. So there's cliff scale lizard folks that are good at climbing, cloud leaper lizard folks that have flaps that can make them glide, frilled lizard folks that are good at intimidation because they have the thing here. Sandstrider lizard folk that have fire resistance. Unseen lizard folk that can chameleon glide. Wetlander with lizard folk that swim, and these are good at taking cover in forests. So, all things considered, frilled lizard folk is probably the best. It gives me a special power called Threatening Approach, which is good. Toyota kind of likes this. And as far as classes go, considering everything, Toyota is going to go pretty much the way he was in real life. He's going to be a rogue. And now selecting a racket, which is a subclass of rogue that you are, he's going to go for the ruffian rogue, kind of like the thuggish, intimidation, beat your ass in uh, rogue. So I have most of the choices I need to make in this first sheet, which enables me to get my ability scores together. So Ancestry, I start with a bonus in strength and wisdom because I'm a lizard folk, but being thuggish lizard folk, Toyota is like, no, I want to be as strong as I was in real life. I want to be Constitution. Then I'm gonna. Sorry, there was a crazy cat in the background. Then background, if we look at the background, the bully background gives me strength or charisma, but I'm gonna get both because I have a free ability boost, so I'm gonna get both strength and charisma. Then class is gonna be strength. Then I have 4 free boosts at this level. I'm gonna strength, dexterity, constitution, and charisma. Charisma is key for intimidation, so I really want it to be high. So I click apply, and as you can see, my stats have changed here. So, Toyota's pretty dumb, which he was in real life, so that's nice. That's carried over. But also very, very strong, kind of that 7 feet tall. And the god, this is the gods, I'll help you define that, but he was the one that gave him his perks was Goron, god of battle, so, kind of fitting here. Starts with, if you look at the lizard folks, you can see that here they start with claws. So even without being armed, Toyota-kun is now very, very threatening because he can still claw the fuck out of people. So I'm going to keep Rogue gotten out here. I'm going to lock out these because I'm done with them. Now, I still have a major boon to pick, but I'm not committed to that right now, so I'm going to leave it for later. Let's go over the list of things. This is equipment. I like to keep equipment for later. Spellcasting is not applicable here. Crafting, I don't have formulas for that. But, and as you can see, most of the perks of Rogue have been applied. I'm expert in perception. Perception is here. It's noted at expert. I'm trained in fortitude, but expert in reflex and will. So pretty decently done here. I'm trained in stealth. And I'm trained in one more skill or skills determined by your rogue's racket. If we look at my racket, I'm trained in intimidation. Since I was already trained in intimidation due to my background, well, I have another skill feat. So I'm trained in a number of additional skills equal to 7 plus my intelligence modifier. My intelligence modifier is -1, so 6, and also having already been trained in intimidate because of background brings me back to 7. So I get to pick 7 skills in here that Toyota-kun's good in. Now, obviously, he's good in athletics, but he's also good at lying when bullying fails. So that's I have 5 left. Let's make him good in thievery. 4 left. Acrobatics is useful. 3 left. Survival will help me track down my marks in the wild. 2 left. Nature, want to be close to. Then patching yourself up is good. So let's recount. I should have 9 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. Then feats wise, I get to pick an ancestry feat. I click the plus button here. It gives me the list of what I have. Razor claws. I kind of like the idea of that. I might want to go into like heavy weapons because that ruffian rogues can sneak attack with like pretty powerful weapons. They don't need to have claws. Reptile rider, sharp fangs. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Sure. Okay. 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 Biting the fuck out of people would be nice. Tail whip. Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, maybe it's all about decapitating people with your claws. You know. I could have a cantrip, but I mean, it wouldn't be terrible to have like, let's say it's a primal cantrip. Lightning tongue. Oh, I like the idea of lightning tongue. Okay. Good against diseases. Reptile rider. I'm gonna go with lightning tongue. Wrong list. Sorry. Lightning tongue, which allows me to snatch and do items from afar, and eventually will enable me to use my tongue to disarm people from afar and grab their stuff. So I kind of like that. I'm hesitating between that and sharp fang. Sharp fang would be pretty good. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go with sharp fang. I want Toyota to bite heads off. That's very threatening. I'm gonna delete. Can I delete this? Okay, apparently not. I'll do something about that later. Then I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna have a class feat. I have a couple of options, but the one I really want, I know what I want because I'm an experienced player, but you can feel free to look. I want your next. So it's a trigger reaction that triggers when you reduce an enemy to 0 hit points, and you immediately attempt to demoralize someone with intimidation, and you get a bonus. So it's basically like you kill someone, and you just go like, you're next. So I feel that fits very much what Toyota-kun is, and Mitsubishi Toyota was his name, but in this new world, he wants to be called Ryu. So I'm going to change the name there. But, in my notes here, backstory, Mitsubishi Toyota was the high school bully. Now, you feel free to write paragraphs there if you want to, but I don't want you to watch me type an essay, So I got your next, then I'm going to delete bonus feat there. There we go. Then I have a skill feat because rogues start with a skill feat at level 1. Not everyone has that. That's a unique rogue power. So I have another skill feat in there. I'm already boosted with my intimidating glare, so I don't really need to go deeper into that. I'm going to try to boost another one of my skills. Let's go with athletics. I'm pretty good at athletics with a +7. I want something that makes me good at it, so I can sort down. I've narrowed it, so skill feat here, athletics here. So this narrows it down to these are my athletics option. Titan Wrestler allows me to grapple and use disarm, grapple, shove, or trip on creatures that are larger than me, which is very useful. Hefty Hauler. Quick Jump allows you to jump as one action instead of two, which is very, very clutch. Gives me a lot of mobility with that high athletics check. But I'm going to go with Titan Wrestler. There might be, I don't know, big frogs or something. If we look at the rest of my powers, I have Sneak Attack, which adds a die 6 of damage. I have Surprise Attack. When I'm hidden, people are flat-footed to me in the first round of combat. And I have Breath Control. I'm very good at holding my breath because I'm a lizard folk. And the Ruffian Racket allows me to deal sneak attack damage with any simple weapon in addition to the weapons listed in the sneak attack class feature. And in the sneak attack class feature, it says, if you strike a creature that has the flat-footed condition with an agile or finesse melee weapon, an agile or finesse unarmed attack, or a ranged weapon attack, you deal an extra 1d6 precision damage. Now, this is important, and that's why that's where the Ruffian Racket comes in, because any simple weapon in addition to the weapons listed in the sneak attack class feature. So if we look at my claws, the claws are agile, but my fangs are not. But being a ruffian allows me to sneak attack with my fangs, despite them being massive and sharp. And as well, I become trained in medium armor, which means I don't need to have dexterity. And this brings me to the last tab that we will need to fill, which is Equipment. So the gods provide you with 15 gold pieces as you start the game. And I still haven't picked my major boon, by the way. So maybe I'll want like an item or something to boost me. But you know what? I'll keep it simple. And Toyota is a simple creature. So Toyota is unsatisfied with being at only 14 constitution. He wants to be the toughest, meanest bitch around. So he's going to use the major boon, no drawbacks for the ability score option, which is essentially a free ability boost, and it's going to boost his constitution to 16, giving him a slew of HP, making him basically like as tanky as a fighter, despite being a rogue. And then we're going to go back here, 15 GP. Now you click the magnifying lens next to the thing. I'm going to close this. And these are my options. I have weapons. I could give a check out for traits. I don't want weapons because I have these awesome fangs and claws. I do want armor though. And I want the armor that's probably the best medium armor for my dexterity is breastplate. I know this, and you can ask me because it requires 16 strength to be optimal. It caps my dexterity bonus at +1, which is what I have. Provides me with a sturdy +4 to armor. So breastplate is definitely where it's at. I remember to make it worn. It's boosted my AC to 18, which is pretty much where everyone starts. Oh, sorry. I'm going to delete the breastplate. I'm going to do it properly. So breastplate, I click this button, buy item. Okay, well, if I were a player, this would work. But as, as a GM access, I have the issue of not being able to purchase stuff. So I've reduced the gold pieces by 7. Aside from that, what would Mitsubishi need? Well, he's, trained in medicine and he doesn't trust other people. So he's gonna grab himself some healer's tool, and which is -5 GP, taking me to 2. And you kind of need like a container to put that in. So I've put a bandolier, which is 0 GP. It's just something you start with. And I'm going to put my healer's tool in there. Bandolier is a sash that you wear that can hold stuff. Aside from that, what does Toyota-kun need? It's got his fangs, it's got his claws, it's badass. Maybe some. No, you know what? Toyota-kun's going to start with his 2 GPs and make his way through the world with that. So it's taken me, what are we at? 18 minutes. I have my major boon. I have my ABC. I could flesh out this a bit more. The only thing I'm missing is some art piece, so I'm gonna go on the internet. I'm gonna just type anime thug. Anime thug lizard. No. Okay, let's go. Let's go with anime lizard folk. Let's go with this. Kind of like that, but he's a hero and overlord. Kind of like this one. You know what? Let's go with this one. Ooh. Oh no, this is best. This is best. Okay, so I'm gonna save this image here, and then I go get it on my computer. Boom, boom. Transfer the image. Delete this. Delete this. Then I can kind of look at frames. I can have more frame options in here. I want something a bit nicer. I'm gonna go with this one and delete the old one. And you can kind of see I can unlock it, and then being unlocked allows me to, I think, no. Okay, I used to be able to go, they changed that. Anyways, good enough like this. Now, Ryukin is ready to start his adventure, sitting at the bar in the Adventurers Guild. See what he looks like a glorious, glorious thug. I'll do another video about basic functions, but this was my character creation video. It's 21 minutes now. Thank you for listening. You can ask me any questions on my Discord channel. Take care. Ciao.